I want to create something that's different than the classic consultancies.
Yes.
More organic, more sustainable, and more longer term focused. And teaching. Teaching is a big part of it, and that's often forgotten with consultancy. So I want to change the way consultancy is viewed in the world. It takes time to adjust to change and to accept change, but change is inevitable. So if you don't lean into it,
Yes.
you're gonna get stuck. Every day I come up with new ideas of how I will work with clients slightly differently, or tweak things that I already set up. Something is not going to be that way permanently. It has to change all the time. And also the perception at the moment that some companies have, AI is dangerous, AI is cheating, AI is bad.
Yes.
It's a very tricky area, yes.
Hi everyone and welcome to Unleash. And today we are super excited and I am over the moon because we have a very beautiful and special guest, Michelle, joining us today, entrepreneur, and she has a beautiful consulting company by the name of Optimer Consulting. And I would like Michelle to introduce herself and share her phenomenal journey. And it's just, I cannot have enough of her amazing wisdom and background of her, corporate world and as well as the business side. Welcome, Michelle, to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Samira. That's very flattering introduction. I'm good, thanks.
I just wanted to, understand, and I love what you're doing. So, Michelle, tell us about your journey.
Yeah.
Tell us about your beautiful way, how you started.
Yes.
And about Optimer Consulting.
Yes. So basically, I've been involved in the corporate world and startups most of my career, bouncing between both of them. And also my travels have taken me to lots of different countries. So I feel like I've seen lots of different cultures and way of working and understanding within organizational culture. And I've seen companies, small and big, make the same mistakes over and over again in their operations and the way they work with their company, with their staff. So I started first in corporate domain management, which is very different from what I'm doing today. And I helped launch some global TLDs, which are like .eu and so on.
Amazing.
Worked in corporate brand management. And then I moved to digital agencies where I work with lots of online development, creative teams and sales, accounting, across all different areas within agency. And basically traveled throughout different countries. I ended up in different areas. When I was here in Dubai 15 years ago, I worked in a online booking system development, software development.
Yeah.
Software development company, and with different, across different industries.
You having this amazing corporate background experience,
Yeah.
and then bringing into the Optimer Consulting. Tell me about this Scandinavian style of operations. How is
Yeah.
it different, and how is it that the audience can try to understand this unique system?
Yeah, so we focus on actual clarity, calm, and non-hierarchical organizational structure. And that's what I saw a lot of differences between the corporate side and the startup side. I've learned, for example, from the corporate side that, longer term thinking, structure and focus, but also that bureaucracy and non-clear communication
Yes,
can break down systems and teams. And
that is like the biggest barrier,
yeah,
I think.
and it will, yeah, exactly. And it will, it can break down the whole operations and cause lots of negative spiraling effect. With smaller businesses, I've learned that, you have to be agile and fast thinking. You have to wear 10 hats and
Absolutely.
work across different areas. But also smaller companies have this problem that they don't ever take a step back, or they're going so fast. They don't take a step back and assess how it should be structured so they can scale effectively. So basically, I take all the learnings that I have from the corporate and the startup side of things, and I incorporate that with the Scandinavian thinking of minimalism, radical transparency, and more of a human-centered approach. You can build systems all you want, and you can create processes and whatever you like, but if it's not working for the human
Absolutely.
factor, it's not going to be effective. So we try to build that with the human factor incorporated,
That's beautiful.
so it
because-
actually works.
And
Not against the, it shouldn't be that you have to work for the system, which I see so many times. It should be that the systems and the processes work in alliance with the human
Yes.
side of things. Otherwise, you're never going to keep using it. It's never going to grow. It's never going to function properly.
I so much agree with you, Michelle, because first of all, if you look at the, ancient side, where everything seems to be bureaucratic, like you said, which doesn't work in
Yeah.
today's generation.
Yeah.
And then also today, people forcing themselves to align themselves so much into the robotic style
Yeah.
that you lose away your uniqueness.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that human element.
Yes.
Which is the main 110% which makes the whole difference.
Yes.
I mean, that connection that the client has with you and that comfort.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There's a very big misconception among some, areas
Yeah.
that streamlining processes means that within that industry, every business has to appear and function in the same way. That's not correct.
Absolutely.
Streamlining means, I believe, that you should investigate, look into, and properly analyze what this company or this organization wants to project to the world and how they want to operate, what is their unique value proposition, and then build the processes and systems so it matches and helps to scale those
Yes.
processes. It should work for the
Facilitate,
company and
yes.
facilitate, yes. And streamlining doesn't really mean that they all operate in the same way. So we are very focused on creating bespoke processes
Beautiful.
that work for the actual company
Yes.
and their unique propositioning.
What I wanted to ask was, like, touch wood, functioning in the corporate world and then towards the business side, like what, because now you can actually get the holistic, beautiful understanding of how you can apply it with your clients in a one-to-one tailor-made approach.
Yeah.
How do you find?
Yeah, so we focus on the human-centric approach. We don't just look at the processes and the systems that they have. So we focus on the human-centered approach, and we make sure that we don't just look at the systems and the processes, but we look at the leadership patterns, the behavior, mentality within the organization,
Absolutely. That
the
is so-
communication, transparency, and look at the actual root causes. Where is the problem, and how can we fix it so it still works with the people in the company? Otherwise, it's not going to actually function.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Having it human-led,
Yeah.
right? That is, so you work a lot with female entrepreneurs and, scale stage companies. Tell us about that.
yes. So Optimer actually has two different levels.
Right.
There's Optimer, which focuses on mid-size companies that are growing very fast, and success, if you don't manage success in the appropriate way, success can also strangle a company, right? So we can go in and we work with the company in a very agile and fluent form to help them optimize and improve and create systems that can scale with the company. We don't just go in and stop operations in that way, right? So we work with them and we know how to operate with them in the agile environment. With the larger companies, it's a little bit different.
Yes, absolutely.
And well, we work with the governance teams and the project teams to see how we can actually instill the new processes and systems. There's Optimer for the middle size to the larger companies, where we operate with them and we help them grow in all the different stages because we understand the stages. Optimer Academy is a separate branch.
Beautiful.
Where we focus on female entrepreneurs, startups specifically, and help them grow because they often don't, they're very good at what they do. They're very good at their own area, but they don't know how to put in the foundations and to grow.
Right.
And female entrepreneurs especially, they find it difficult to also ask for help when they need it.
Yes.
So I wanted to build a community where there's lots of information, but it's not just information, it's information that will guide you in the right way. It's not enough to just give templates and documentation. You have to actually teach also how to use it.
Absolutely, provide them with the ammunition.
Yeah.
And keep them equipped and long-term sustainability towards, and I think these are the key elements that all of us are looking for.
Yeah.
Like, when they are seeking out a platform
Yeah.
that can provide them the complete A to Z
Exactly.
solutions.
So what I've tried to build is a consultancy that will help you as a partner from the very first stages and growing towards, a
Growth.
bigger company.
Yes.
And how they can structure that in the longer term, but also help them all the way along the way.
Yeah.
And I find that very exciting. You see them growing and you're a part of that growth. So it very much feels like it's also your own
Absolutely.
company. And we take big pride in, we're more involved with the actual company. It's not just consulting. We feel more, because I think feeling is not a bad word when it comes to business. That's another thing that I want to change. You have to feel happy working in a place, right? And this is also what the newer generations want. They don't want to feel that they're just an employee. They want to feel a part of the organizational
growth. Yes,
growth.
Absolutely.
And feel that they're actually growing with them and helping the growth. So that's where we feel as well.
Yes.
That we are part of that journey with the company, with the organizations.
I honestly think that if you don't have that connection and completely feeling aligned by being a complete part of that growth and that journey, there's if you're not vibing, it's like it's completely irrelevant. And it's so important when both the sides are feeling like it's one family. And everyone's feeling the excitement or the
it also creates
anticipation.
trust. It's a very important factor. You will not work optimally if you're not feeling there's a trust that goes both ways.
Oh, yes.
So micromanaging, I really try to, even if I see it, I try to build not just systems and processes, but we build structure that moves away from it. And change is a very difficult thing, right? In any facet. People are very afraid of change. So it depends on how you communicate it and how you show. So we show that it actually works in your benefit. And people, there's a whole process involved, right? It takes time to adjust to change and to accept change, but change is inevitable. So if you don't if you don't lean into it,
Yes.
you're gonna get stuck. And we help facilitate that change as well.
Beautiful. And honestly, I think that also changing in an effortless way, you know, not in those bumps or in that kind of a fear or,
Yeah.
you know, or and adapting with it so seamlessly
Yeah.
that you just feel that, you know, it was meant for you. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's how I feel like with the whole AI and everything,
Yeah.
the concepts coming about,
Yeah.
you know, I really love what one speaker said, that we shouldn't fear it,
No.
you know, and we should take it in our stride. I mean,
Yes.
take everything as an opportunity.
Yes.
And build on it.
Yes.
So, Michelle, you've worn many hats,
Yeah.
right? And so tell me, how is it like being head of project management of a digital agency? How are you finding it? What is like?
Well, it's helped me in the way that I feel more capable of running my own consultancy, right? And it helped me take that step to actually start it. There's a big fear taking a step like that, even though I have always been very impulsive. This is something I thought about most of my youth.
Wow.
That I wanted to do. And I had all these ideas of how I wanted to do it. And the female entrepreneur and the startup, that was the baby that I wanted to do for so long, but I didn't know how I was going to incorporate it and when it was going to be the appropriate time. There's never an appropriate time, I realized. But it takes courage to step out of the normality of what you're doing, right? So whether you're in a job or in as a housewife, whatever your role is at the time, it's very difficult to take that leap. But I've learned that that's the most important thing that you are going to learn in your life, is to take the risk. If you don't take the risk, you will not know anything. Nothing will happen, right? You will just keep going. So I decided that I was going to try that. And it was a big leap for me. Even though I see myself as a very dynamic and...
Which you are, absolutely.
Thank you. As a person who's taken lots of different directions and going with the flow. But it's still a big thing to start your own. And I felt that all these different roles that I've had have given me the visibility into how to manage it. Because you have to, right? Especially in the beginning, you have to do all the things yourself.
Oh, yes.
And then you learn how to incorporate other roles and ask for the help. But it's also taught me very well how I can help other startups and founders in growing their business.
Yes.
And in moving forward.
So how do you handle the imposter syndrome or self-doubt as a woman leading in the operational Optimer consulting?
Excuse me. That's one of the biggest things I think women especially have a problem with, right? Doesn't matter how far you've come, it's very easy to creep into your belief.
Oh, yes.
And especially looking at others, they look so perfect, social media doesn't help. But what I found is the biggest thing to help me is looking back at everything that we've achieved. You know, I can see I have helped companies grow, people grow. I've helped in so many different facets of life. I know what I'm good at. I know how I can help others. And that kind of,
Oh, yes.
I don't think imposter syndrome can ever completely go away. This is a thing that we've
An
also
ongoing learning. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also something that we've been conditioned with, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole different discussion with the female aspect of it. I don't want to go into.
We can have an entire episode on
a
it.
different time,
Yeah.
yes. But that's one of the reasons why we have it. It's been something we've been conditioned with most of our life, youth. And another aspect that I find helps a lot is educating ourselves. Whatever area that you need to work in or that you're focused on, and you feel this imposter syndrome creeping in, make sure that you know everything that you can about the topic, the industry, whatever it may be, hobby even,
yes.
whatever it is, because that will also help you feel stronger. And you know that the different areas, everything that you have to
manage
and
you have to
focus on.
Introspect and improve and become
and
a
it
better
helps
version.
your own
Yes.
credibility
Absolutely.
towards yourself.
And Michelle, tell me this, like, I know you are doing something completely different, unique with Optimer, and like I feel bringing a different aspect to, the rest of the,
Yeah.
And how is it that...
Versus the other consultancies. So my focus is, I've realized that there is a big gap in the market, especially here in the Middle East, right? The smaller micro companies, they do have a lot of help that they can get in the communities and networking spaces. The larger organizations, corporate giants, they often use the big four consultancies. The middle market, they don't really have much of a support system.
Yes.
The other consultancies, there are lots which focused on financials and so on, and they also provide process or growth optimization, but it's not their niche. So we look at it as a niche aspect, as a niche market. So for the middle market, there are some consultancies that provide some sort of organizational and process optimization, but it's not really in line with a different value set that I try to bring in through Optimer. Many of the other consultancies, they replicate what the big fours are doing, and it is very bureaucratical.
Yeah.
Lots of flashy reports.
Of course.
Lots of time-consuming meetings and discussion, where Optimer is focused more on the actuality of what's needed.
Beautiful.
And I don't want to just bring in some solution to plug and play.
For the sake of just...
For the sake of it. I want to make sure that it's the right solution for that company. And we can help. There's so many quick wins that can be implemented while you're looking at the longer process, where it's not really a focus for the other consultancy in the same way. So that's what we want to bring into that as well.
I love that. I think that is so important. And it just saves so much time, and it actually focuses on the main issue. It's like hitting the nail on the head. That is exactly what...
And one thing you were saying before, with AI, I just wanted to also bring in, you can't really incorporate AI into everything without looking at the base foundation. If you have a base foundation, then you can bring in AI aspects to automate. But again, you need to know the distinction between the roles and what processes and systems are needed and how they're needed. And then AI can help. Absolutely. If you just put in AI into a company without thinking about processes and optimization, culture and communication facets, it's not going to really work for you. It's going to work against you.
Yes, you're going to lose that focus, and it's going to take it to another end, which will completely be irrelevant.
Yeah. It's not going to help at all.
So, Michelle, Optimer isn't about short-term fixes, right? You talk about scalable foundations such as long-term efficiency.
I want to bring in sustainability into the organizations and the culture as well. You have to look at like I said before, the leadership behavior and the communication patterns. And you build the system so it suits with the organizational culture as well. Otherwise, it's not going to last. I've seen many times in big companies as well, in big corporates, that they need something for operational delivery, for example. And they get this whole very bespoke or the larger CRM implemented. It's not really looked into how it should be working or connected to other teams or departments. And it only works for a short-term fix. And then after a few years, you need to look at it again, and sometimes the whole system is changed, which is not really necessary if you built the system properly in the first place, right? So, and also organizational efficiency and improvement is not something that you implement once and then you don't look at it again for the next 5-10 years. It's not going to work. It's about teaching the companies to constantly look at improvement. It's an ongoing process. It's a cyclical process. So you work on the new systems. You make sure that also the staff is taught. Otherwise, they're going to build workarounds, and then you're back to square one. That's also a whole discussion I'd like to have separately one day.
Yeah.
But you have to build the system so it's according to the actual company structure. And then it's going to last. Teach them how to build a sustainable improvement cycle.
Beautiful.
And it will constantly be improved.
And kind of like gets on autopilot.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. So we don't necessarily have to be involved constantly. We're not saying that a consultancy should always be there working on these same processes. We want to teach them and have them working optimally so they can constantly see, okay, we need to focus on this improvement, and then we can be more effective also in how we optimize the company, right?
Yes.
So it's always going to improve itself. So
Completely. So what different kind of industries or line of scope of,
we focus
projects,
on,
yes,
So
you
we
take
focus
on?
on a wide range, but at the moment specifically on service companies and tech. Tech, it can be fintech, edtech, whatever tech. But looking at their systems, because they have to incorporate, if they're not starting to incorporate AI technologies now, it's going to be too late. But again, you have to look at the full picture and how you're going to do it. And AI is working so fast at the moment. It's very difficult to keep up. It's like on a daily basis, new developments are coming in. It's very exciting, but it's also daunting. So you have to make sure that the organization is very agile, ready to move forward. And that's also only going to happen if it's, I keep running back to the same area, sorry. The question was the companies, so it's any kind of industry really, but service industries need it a lot, and any kind of tech-based company.
Absolutely. So if Optimer achieves everything you hope within the next 5 years, what impact will it have on clients, the industry, and even you personally?
Yeah, I want to create something that's different than the classic consultancies.
Yes.
More organic, more sustainable, and more longer term focused. And teaching. Teaching is a big part of it, and that's often forgotten with consultancy. So I want to change the way consultancy is viewed in the world, which is a very big goal that I have. But I think we should dream big, right?
Yes.
If we don't dream big, it's not going to go in any direction, really. So I want to change how consultancy works. Many businesses and many industries also think of consultancies as it's a bad word, right? They don't like consultancies. I want to change the perception of that. I want it to be more of a helpful kind of business that actually looks at what people need, not imposes needs on them. So
Beautiful.
That's my
I think
long-term goal.
that is something so profound, because it's like a complete support system.
Yeah.
It's like your complete
I think that's what it should be, right?
Yes.
It shouldn't just be like, this is 5 reports, do this. We also help implement. I forgot to say that earlier. So we follow the journey with the clients. We help implement, we teach, we assess, and we make sure that any gaps are filled as we can. But another aspect that's also important is I want to emphasize, we want to work with companies, any size companies, but companies that are willing to change.
Yes.
If you're not willing
have to.
be open and listen to a different aspect, you're not going to improve anything. So the companies have to be ready, and they have to be mandating across the organization, however big or small, that this is going to be the focus, right? If you don't have the mandate to actually do something, it's not going to be done.
Oh yes, absolutely. What advice, Michelle, would you give to someone starting a business right now and who wants to do it ethically, efficiently, and with what impact, I think,
there's a lot of things they have to remember.
Yeah.
I would say focus on your originality. Again, streamlining is not about making the same things as everybody else. Focus on your originality and incorporate your own systems to work with that. So it works for the client and works for you. And especially for smaller companies, start by building systems now. Don't think of it as something that you have to do later. There are so many, all the different, there are lots of CRM, lots of other systems and processes you can implement that are free. I know that many companies, smaller, especially micro companies, they are on a tight budget, right? But now with AI, there's everything that you'd like, and there's all the trials, but also there's also the free solutions.
Yes.
And I find that many of them are not using it.
And I think you cannot emphasize this more. When your foundation is strong from the beginning,
yes,
you can build up
exactly
anything. Like, how many floors on
the foundation needs to be the strongest. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. Things are going to go through cracks. Once you have a system that works, nobody says that system will stay the same. It will grow. It will change. Every day, I come up with new ideas of how I will work with clients slightly differently, or, tweak things that I already set up. Something is not going to be that way permanently. It has to change all the time.
Oh, yes.
Change is organically happening constantly. And that's what we need to understand. And once you have that picture, especially as a small startup, but also as a big giant company, it's not going to work if you don't incorporate that thinking into the flow.
I can't think of a more valuable, important, amazing platform like yourself, because you having that complete background of the corporate side and being in the systems and understanding the entire holistic side of things, and then bringing it to the benefit of the startups. I mean, how important is it for anyone precious when they're starting their own thing? Like, you had this vision for the longest of time, and how it's your thing, and how important it is that it grows efficiently,
Exactly.
And being a woman also, and having that.
And that's one thing I want to actually say to anybody who also wants to start. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you know that you can do, and do it. And dream big, make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect the first time. And that's one of the things that held me back, was I wanted to start when I had the perfect concept, the perfect idea, the perfect structure. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen for anyone. You have to constantly adjust and adapt and change. And you experiment, right?
Oh, yes.
In the beginning, Optimer is not what it was 3 years ago when it was initially started. It's already changed a lot. And every day I focus on improving how that's going to operate.
Right.
And that's the thing. Perfectionism holds us back. We have to learn to let go of perfectionism. When I was younger, excuse me, I used to think that perfectionism was something to strive for. And it was a good thing that I already was a perfectionist. But as we know, it's not, because it will block. There's no such thing as perfect. There's only something as becoming better, improving. And my daughter has same issues. She's very perfectionist thinking, and I'm trying to teach her already now. Don't think of it as perfect. Nothing is perfect. You're never going to be perfect at ballet or at math or science. You're going to get better and better and better, and think of newer things.
Right.
as you grow,
Yes.
but only if you keep trying
in the action
to make
Yes.
mistakes as well, right? You have to make mistakes. That's the biggest thing.
Amazing.
You learn from mistakes.
Michelle, how do you find UAE as a beautiful platform? I mean, you've
Yeah.
traveled, you've been so many places, and for,
I love that there is everything in Dubai, right? In the UAE, it's such a hub of international thinking. And I love that people are more open towards each other because we have learned from different cultures. You know, most of expats in Dubai, also in the UAE, are serial expats, such as myself. I lived in London, in Melbourne, in Copenhagen, where I'm from. But also, the travel and the global mindset that's here means that people are more open to different facets of thinking and belief systems.
Absolutely.
And everything is that big melting pot, which helps people to be more open to new thinking as well. And I lost
that.
my train of thought a little bit.
No, I also feel that it's the perfect, launching pad.
Yes, and sorry, I came back to my thought again. There is so much vibrant, dynamic aspect happening here. But it's also a little bit, I've seen, so from that side, it's very forward thinking. Businesses, though, it's a little bit static, and it's a very odd combination because everything is happening so fast, but also there's this mindset that's not grown. So I want to bring the Scandinavian mindset to here. I remember, even in school, we were taught many years ago that environmental sustainability, we were taught how to handle water and this and that. All of this has helped me in my entire life.
Right.
And environmental sustainability on different aspects, which also leads to sustainable solutions, right? And that's what I feel like here, it needs to move forward a little bit. Yeah, both on the environmental side of things, which as an environmentalist, I see every day, like plastic consumption. That's also another whole conversation.
And they are getting there slowly.
It's getting there, but it's very, very slow moving. And it's the same with transparency, process optimization, and the ideas behind that thinking. That's, especially in bigger companies, you have to kind of break the original thinking. And that's a little bit more of a slower beast to move. And that's what's frustrating in the Middle East, that you have to teach and educate and try to pull forward the companies sometimes.
Yes.
Where in Scandinavia and Europe, that's already 5-10 years ahead. And that thinking it's difficult, right?
And that's why
it takes
we have
time
you.
to change. I'm trying
And I just
to do that.
absolutely love the way, your mind thinks towards, in terms of the future, developments that should take place. Now, I'm going to come towards a different side of you.
Yes.
So it's going to be a short kind of a rapid fire. So Michelle, tell me about. I'm gonna ask you like 4 different things and tell me about it. Like, what is a business book? What is a business book that changed your thinking?
Yes, I love Malcolm Gladwell. His books, Blink and Outlier, are 2 of the powerful books that have helped me think of, or just form my own thinking of how people work effectively. And it's not just systems, but it's the whole organic structure. And emotional intelligence is a very big thing of it. That
I really
emotional intelligence, yes.
Yeah.
And that's also another aspect that, it's behind the whole human-led approach. emotional intelligence, and then it's not just processes and systems, but the aspect behind it that we need to use.
Beautiful. What is that one habit that you think is so pivotal?
Habit in what way do you mean?
Habit in terms of a ritual that, your favorite thing that helps.
Something I do every day for me is I try to not rush in the mornings, right? So like a daily process for myself is to ground myself and be intentional. I've always had this, but I never knew I didn't know the word that was there. And I find it very important to start my day, start a project, start anything new with intention.
Beautiful.
Why am I doing it? How do I do it? And I want to do it like this, and then I can move forward. If I don't have the intention, whether it's my day or a project or whatever, then it doesn't really go in the way I want it to.
I love that, planning your day with the right mindfulness.
Yes.
And one piece of advice, with you living as a Scandinavian consultant in Dubai.
To startup companies, I would say, like I said before, jump out. Don't wait for a perfect time or perfect idea, and make mistakes. Mistakes is the only thing that we learn from. And then,
Wow, I love that. A myth about business operations you wish more people would let go of.
Yes, it's the idea that it has to also be perfect, but it's going to continue to work. Changes are necessarily on a daily basis sometimes, and also the perception of things and how you're going to use it, right? So I would say the perception that once you implement something, it's going to continue and continue and continue. It's not going to work like that. So, and also the perception at the moment that some companies have, AI is dangerous, AI is cheating, AI is bad.
Yes.
It's a very tricky area, yes. I'd say AI is not going to, I believe, take over the world or take over consulting or education. It's about using the AI as the human in the way that can make us better humans and better at working, more effective. So I think we have to learn how to incorporate that and not be afraid of it. Not be afraid of change also, change in general. Everything changes.
I myself personally, Michelle, by coming to an end to the podcast, I have enjoyed and reveled so much, having you explore and share all these insights because they are so relevant and so important.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's exactly what we need, our coming generations need, in order to live a fulfilled life and to manifest everything that you dreamed of, and you've actually given a toolbox of.
Yes, that's what I hope to do, right? Yes. To help others achieve that and to gain the joy of doing it. If there's no joy in it, I love what I do. I love fixing and improving and seeing growth in the way that I feel is the sustainable way. And that makes me very happy. I'm building something. I'm building a whole part of something, an environment, right? So,
well, it's been such a pleasure.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to have another time.
Yes,
and
there are so many things to talk about.
And we're going to have all the Optimer Consulting links down here in our podcast. Please share what you have learned, how you found this beautiful interview. And thank you again, Michelle. And I hope to see you next time soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Samira. I would look forward to any other time.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, everyone. And see you next time.